Chief Okeke was surprised but pleased to see a man finally interested in Ada. "You are brave, young man," Chief Okeke said, offering him a kola nut. "But are you ready for my daughter's fire?" "I am ready, Chief," Emeka said with a confident grin. A good husband must know how to quench fire without water. When Ada came out to see him, she looked at him with disdain. "Why did you wear this kind of cheap attire to come and see us? Haven't you heard of first impressions?" Ada fired at Emeka. Chief Okeke cocked his head in frustration. He knew this was the end of the marriage proposal. Amokwa, a lively small suburban town, nestled somewhere in eastern Nigeria. This was the home of a respected trader named Chief Okeke. Chief Okeke was blessed with 2 daughters. His first daughter, Ada, was fiery and stubborn, known all over Amokwa for her quick temper and sharp tongue. As a result, they nicknamed her Miss Pepperbody. His second daughter, Ifoma, was gentle, kind, and as beautiful as a sunrise. Many suitors came to Chief Okeke's compound to seek Ifoma's hand in marriage, but there was one problem. Chief Okeke had a strict rule. Any man who wants to marry Ifoma must first marry her elder sister, Ada, he declared. This rule sent shivers down the spines of young men in Amokwa. Ada was not the kind of woman they wanted to deal with. She scared them with her fierce eyes and her words, which could cut sharper than a new machete. One sunny afternoon, a man named Emeka arrived in Amokwa. Emeka was a clever, confident young trader from a neighboring village. He was known for his witty humor and his knack for solving problems. When he heard about Chief Okeke's rule, he decided to take up the challenge. "I will marry Ada," Emeka announced boldly to his friends at the village square. His friends laughed, thinking he had lost his mind. "Are you sure?" one of them asked. "Ada is not an easy woman. She might throw you into the river before you even say, 'I do.'" But Emeka smiled. "A man who knows how to handle a stubborn goat can surely handle Ada." The next day, Emeka dressed in his finest attire and carried a basket of gifts to Chief Okeke's compound. Chief Okeke was surprised but pleased to see a man finally interested in Ada. "You are brave, young man," Chief Okeke said, offering him a kola nut. "But are you ready for my daughter's fire?" "I am ready, Chief," Emeka said with a confident grin. A good husband must know how to quench fire without water. When Ada heard about Emeka's visit, she rolled her eyes. "Another foolish man," she muttered. "He will run away like the others." When Ada came out to see him, she looked at him with disdain. "Why did you wear this kind of cheap attire to come and see us? Haven't you heard of first impressions?" Ada fired at Emeka. Chief Okeke cocked his head in frustration. He knew this was the end of the marriage proposal. But Emeka was not like the others. He smiled and said, "You have just confirmed that you are the perfect woman for me. I will never have a wardrobe malfunction with a wife like you." Chief Okeke almost fell off his chair with shock. How did he take Ada's insult in such a light manner? Even Ada was taken aback. No one had ever spoken to her like that before. When Emeka left, Ada pondered about him. No one had reacted to her sharp mouth with such calmness. "You should marry him, Ada. You have finally found a man who is immune to your insults." "This is a blessing from God," Ifoma pleaded with her. "I hear you. You are just saying that so that Papa will allow you to marry Chinedu after I'm married off," Ada scoffed at her sister. But Ifoma was right. Not only was Emeka tolerant, he was also good-looking. Emeka's plan to win Ada's heart was simple but daring. He had decided to challenge her stubbornness with his own wit and humor. Their next meeting was set for their first date at Momankechi's Bukateria, a popular local eatery known for its steaming plates of jollof rice and spicy nkwobi. Emeka, ever the punctual one, arrived early, taking a seat by the window where he could watch the lively street outside. He kept glancing at his wristwatch, but not out of impatience. He already suspected Ada would take her time. Sure enough, Ada strolled in almost 2 hours later. Emeka rose to greet her, a wide grin on his face. "You're here already," he exclaimed. "Oh, my queen, you came too early. I didn't expect someone of your caliber to be done getting ready this quickly." Ada paused mid-step, her brow furrowing. She had expected him to be fuming after waiting for hours. She had deliberately delayed, hoping to test his patience or maybe even drive him away. "Too early," she repeated, her tone sharp. "I came almost 2 hours late." "Yes, exactly," Emeka replied, pulling out a chair for her. "A queen should never be rushed. You've done just the right thing." Ada's confusion was palpable. She sat down, narrowing her eyes at him, searching for any sign of sarcasm. But Emeka's expression remained earnest, his smile unwavering. A few moments later, the waiter brought their order and Emeka, who was now really hungry, dug into his food with gusto. He ate hungrily, the sounds of his smacking lips drawing attention from the other diners. Ada's face twisted in disgust. She leaned closer, her voice cutting through the quiet murmur of the eatery like a knife. "You eat like a dog. Didn't your mother teach you how to chew quietly?" The room went silent. All eyes turned to their table. Some of the diners gasped, while others exchanged wide-eyed glances. A few muttered to each other, shaking their heads in disbelief. Emeka was equally shocked but quickly recovered with a chuckle. "Oh, Ada, this is why I like you. You are always honest. I need a woman like you in my life to give me good counsel when others are too busy flattering me." The eatery erupted into hushed whispers. "He's bewitched," one woman whispered to her friend. "Her father has surely used juju on him," another added, shaking her head. "Or maybe he's just foolish," a young man muttered, earning a stifled laugh from his companion. But Emeka seemed oblivious to the gossip. He continued eating with a relaxed smile, as though he and Ada were the only two people in the room. Ada, on the other hand, was speechless. She had expected anger, a retort, or even silence, anything but this. His words, strange as they were, struck a chord in her. For the first time she felt like she'd found a man who understood and appreciated her. As Emeka and Ada drove through the streets of the town, he glanced at Ada with a grin. "That food was amazing," he said. "Ada, I can only imagine how delicious your cooking must be. I'm already looking forward to eating meals you make for me when we're married." Ada turned sharply to face him, her eyes narrowing like a hawk spotting prey. "Excuse me," she said, her tone ice cold. Emeka blinked innocently. "I was just what?" Ada cut him off, folding her arms. "Trying to turn me into your maid? In this 21st century? You want me to be slaving away in the kitchen while you sit and rub your belly, Abby?" "Ada, that's not. I don't care what it is," Ada snapped, her voice rising. "If you think I'm one of those women who will spend her life cooking and scrubbing floors, you'd better park this car and drop me off now. I am not your house girl." Emeka chuckled softly, unfazed by her outburst. Ada's words were sharp, but her fiery tone only made his grin widen. "You're absolutely right, my queen," he said, nodding in agreement. "A woman like you, so elegant, so refined, how could I ever expect you to cook? No, you're far too delicate for that." Ada's frown deepened as she tried to decipher his tone. Was he mocking her? "Then why bring it up?" she demanded, still fuming. Emeka smiled, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "Oh, I just needed to confirm. That way, I know how many maids to hire for you. Maybe 3 or 4. A queen deserves nothing less." Ada stared at him, her anger momentarily giving way to confusion. She opened her mouth to respond but found herself at a loss for words. What kind of man was this? Most men would have been defensive or sulked by now, but Emeka seemed to thrive on her fiery outburst. She smiled quietly to herself, happy again that she'd found a man who understood and appreciated her. Little did she know. And after weeks of playful banter and surprising kindness, Ade finally agreed to marry Emeka. The wedding was a grand affair. Drummers played, dancers twirled, and the whole town gathered to witness the union of the fiery Ada and Emeka. They never thought a day like this would come. Some even came expecting the ceremony to end in disarray. And the worst did happen. Emeka did not show up for the ceremony. Every attempt to reach him proved abortive. Even his family members didn't know his whereabouts. Ada was devastated. Had Emeka stood her up, she would be the laughingstock of the town. Chief Okeke's blood pressure rose. He would never recover from this shame. The naysayers in the crowd gossiped excitedly. They knew no man in his right senses would marry a mad girl like Ada. While everywhere was in chaos, Emeka arrived riding a very noisy rickety motorcycle that drew the attention of everyone. His wedding outfit was a wardrobe disaster, many bright colors in riot with each other. Ada rushed out in anger when she heard of Emeka's arrival. Why did you choose to embarrass me like this? Why did you arrive so late and in a shameful manner? Ada confronted him. But Emeka replied calmly with a smile. My love, I did this all for you. I wanted to prove the naysayers wrong, those who think you can never get married. Look at their faces now. Ada couldn't believe her ears. Was this guy serious? Is that why you came in here riding on a rickety motorbike as loud as a grinding machine and dressed like a pirate? Ada vented. But Emeka smiled again. Oh my love, my colorful dressing and noisy arrival was only to prove to everybody how much I love your feisty and lively character. With that, Ada rushed back inside, crying in frustration. This guy was impossible. Why did she ever agree to marry him? Back in the house, she complained to Ifeoma. I have never seen someone so inconsiderate in my life. Ifeoma scoffed. Auntie, look in the mirror. Ada was taken aback by Ifeoma's remark. What do you mean by that? Do you know how many times you have been inconsiderate to me, even from when we were kids? Now you know how it feels, Ifeoma reminded her. Why, Ifeoma? Whose side are you on? Ada asked in confusion. I'm on the side of this wedding. You two must get married today. I don't want to be single for life because of you, Ifeoma declared before storming out, leaving Ada, who for the first time in her life felt subdued. The rest of the ceremony went on smoothly. The people of the town marveled at Emeka's joy, how he even danced more than Ada. Ada felt special, having a man dote on her so much. Even though he dressed like a parrot. When the ceremony came to an end, and Ada's family sent her off to her husband and his family, Emeka offered to take Ada home on the rickety noisy motorbike. Ada was furious. Are you serious right now? Do I look like I want to ride on that noisy crap with you? You must be a joker, Ada blasted him before storming off. Emeka only smiled to himself. He had married her, now it would be easier to tame her, especially with the special plans he had for her.